How to play Grid of Shadows, a bluffing game where it does not matter what you play, it matters what you say you play. Your goal? End the game with no cards in your hands, or end the game with the lowest total value in your hands and you're an absolute champion. To set up a game, deal 9 cards face down into a 3x3 grid. Place the remaining cards as a draw pile and set aside 2 cards face down. This will be used for the final challenge. Each player gets 7 cards and now you're ready for the game. The first player flips any 2 cards from the grid and then they have 2 options. They can play a card face down onto one of the open cards or flip an additional card on the grid but take 1 card from a draw pile as a penalty. When playing a card or cards on the grid, a player announces what they played, for example, 1 yellow 1. At this stage, a player can choose a color of the sequence, yellow or blue, but the number must match. Any other players who wants to contribute to the sequence must match the number and the color that the first player stated. But here's the thing, anyone at any point can bluff, any cards can be placed face down, but if anyone gets caught, there are consequences. At any moment, anyone can call lights to challenge the most recent play. The last player reveals the card or cards. If they were lying, they take the entire pile from the grid plus 1 card from the draw pile as a penalty. Every time after light has been called, the grid gets refreshed. All face-up cards get discarded and replaced with the new face-down cards. If the accusation was incorrect, and the card matches the declared number and color, the accuser takes the pile from the grid and the penalty card instead. And once again, the grid gets refreshed and the next player is allowed to open 2 cards on the grid for free. After an incorrect accusation, or if no one called lights, the card abilities are activated. Each number has its unique ability that is activated by a player who contributed to the sequence first, last, or each time. For example, number 1 Whisper's ability states that the last person who played can draw a card from a draw pile and discard a card from their hand. At the end of a turn, if any of the cards on the grid have 3 or more cards on top of them, this pile collapses and gets discarded and replaced by a new card. When the draw pile runs out, the final challenge begins. Discard any face-up cards on the grid that have cards on them, and add the 2 cards that were set aside at the beginning to the grid face up. Now cards must be played face up, and bluffing is no longer allowed. They need to match the color and the number. Once a player places their card or cards truthfully, they discard the pile and flip a new card for the next player. The final challenge ends when everyone passes and cannot match any card on the grid. The player with the lowest card value wins the game and escapes the grid. And that's how you play Grid of Shadows. Now it's your turn.